In cities around the world, the process of building new infrastructure is stalled by endless business cases and political arguments. This gridlock stems from a planning model that prioritizes individual property rights over collective needs. Every proposed apartment building or transit line becomes a discretionary, litigious struggle against neighborhood preferences. Planners call the result the hydraulic city. When a city's core becomes economically successful, rising land values act like a piston, generating immense pressure that physically displaces the working class outward. These residents are forced into peripheral zones lacking basic services. The physical outcomes are visible in chaotic urban sprawl, overwhelmed highway networks, and a severe shortage of affordable housing. Fixing this requires replacing subjective bureaucratic negotiations with an objective, standardized system. Urban planner Ben Ross proposes an upgrade to New Zealand's planning framework. He draws directly from Japan's 1974 Land Use Planning Act to create an operating system driven by strict mathematical rules rather than aesthetic opinions. Before any government adopts these rules, they demand evidence. Proving a zoning theory at a national scale typically risks billions of taxpayer dollars and decades of construction. Waiting for a pilot program to clear partisan debates and administrative delays means the housing crisis deepens in the meantime. Ross circumvents this reality entirely. He uses artificial intelligence to draft the complex legal codes and a commercial city-building video game to physically test how those laws perform. The first phase of this pipeline relies on large language models. Ross feeds his planning concepts into the AI to co-develop policy blueprints for the Auckland Regional Combined Plan. He tasks the AI with stripping away subjective terminology and replacing it with direct, unapologetic language. The AI produces the KISS principle, keeping the legal text as simple and functional as possible. This document lays out specific, non-negotiable mandates. Look at Section 6.1, which details the 3-30-300 rule. Instead of asking developers for pleasant landscaping, it mandates that every residence has 3 visible trees, neighborhoods maintain a 30% canopy cover, and homes sit within 300 meters of a green space. A few paragraphs down, the AI defines the newcomer principle. This rule dictates that if a developer builds housing next to a loud existing economic engine, like a factory or a farm, the developer bears 100% of the cost to mitigate the noise. The agent of change pays for the disruption. This enforces a philosophy of public welfare supreme, where the functionality of the city overrides individual complaints. The AI produces metrics-based standards for public health and safety that local politicians often avoid due to electoral backlash. A well-written law on paper is static. It cannot show how humans will actually react to new zoning limits or traffic patterns. To observe these externalities, Ross imports the AI's parameters into city skylines too. He constructs a virtual test city named Waikato entirely from scratch. He applies a concept called transit by design. Before a single digital resident is allowed to move in, he builds out a complete, functional public transportation network as the city's foundational skeleton. Freed from bureaucratic hurdles, he scales Waikato rapidly. He tracks the infrastructure pressure as the population grows to 60,000 residents in a fraction of the real-world time. He also stress-tests the AI's regulations. To evaluate the newcomer principle, he zones high-density residential towers directly adjacent to an active shipping container port. In reality, this proximity would generate endless noise complaints. In the simulation, Ross confirms that by applying the mandated acoustic glazing and mechanical ventilation, the residents and the 24/7 industrial sector coexist. The video game environment demonstrates that the AI's rules create a functional, street-level city capable of managing heavy industrial and residential overlap. Ross took these AI-drafted, simulation-tested blueprints and submitted them directly to the New Zealand government. This document is his official submission for the Aotearoa Planning Bill 2025, proposing a complete regulatory overhaul for urban growth. The text explicitly details the urban dam. This is a binary zoning mechanism designed to contain the pressures of the hydraulic city by strictly dividing land into urbanization promotion zones and strict control areas. This methodology updates the planning profession. It moves city building away from static, two-dimensional paper maps and town halls, dominated by subjective aesthetic arguments. Human planners still direct the goals and analyze the outcomes. But they now have tools capable of slicing through administrative red tape and generating exact mathematical envelopes for growth. By using artificial intelligence to strip away jargon and digital sandboxes to battle test the results, planners can verify that their policies will actually serve human needs before pouring a single yard of concrete.